maybe describe yourself in a few words.
Okay, describe. So I'm Harsh, uh, serial entrepreneur, first in Web 2, now in Web 3, creating push protocol, communication middleware. Have a decade worth of experience, learning everything Web 2, Web 3, even doing marketing, machine learning, or whatever interests me. So yeah, that's pretty much me. Unless trading, like trading I suck at.
Okay,
So yeah.
so how did Web3 happen to you?
Okay, funny story. It ties to trading only. Around 2016 and all, I was just exploring different things, and at that point, Bitcoin went to $1,000, and I was like, okay, cool. Let me just buy it without understanding what it is. So I got Bitcoin, and within a week, it went to $200, and I was like, wow. Now that I have lost money, let me see what is Bitcoin. So that is when I realized that this is like the future of money. And because I lost money, so I was like, okay, let me just dive a bit more into the ecosystem. And then I found out that there are other coins as well. And when they come to a different exchange, usually their value goes up. So I created a bot. At that point, I didn't know that was an arbitrage bot. And that performed well till 2017, 2018. And then I think everyone else also figured out the formula, so it all died down. But 2018, it started picking up a lot of ERC20 coins. So then I got to know, okay, there's this thing called Ethereum, and not only you can have smart money or digital money, you can also program it. And that was very fascinating for me because I kind of realized that we can solve so many problems. At that point, I was just thinking banks and DeFi that can be solved because innovation can be parallel. That was my entry into actual Web3, not just trading. Because I was an entrepreneur before in mobile apps and communication and all, I knew that I had to start first with a startup and learn the tips and tricks of the industry. So I joined company, a New York-based company, who were working in aggregate identities in Ethereum. And yeah, that basically was my entry into Web3.
Can you give a bit of background before Web3?
So before Web3, it was mobile apps and games. We essentially launched this browser called 360 web browser back in 2011. At that point, Chrome and Firefox was not there on iPhone. Even Safari only had one tab. So we created this power browser that had downloads, multiple tabs, and so on. And that was a good market fit at that point. So it went on to perform really well in the US App Store. And that was the start of the entrepreneur journey because that was like, okay, let's try a project. If this works, then we keep on going. And luckily that worked.
How did push happen? Like, how did you come up with this idea, and how has been the journey?
Okay, so there are two ways by which push happened. Like first was because I was using this DeFi protocol and I got liquidated. I didn't know about it for a week or so. Only when I went back, then I was in rage like why I wasn't informed and why is there no notification out there. So that's like the short story. The longer story was that this happened because back in 2020 or 2019 and I was trying various protocols and various dApps, and I was trying to see like what is the experience that's missing when you compare Web 2 and Web 3. And because I came from that notification and communication background, I very quickly realized that Web 2 they send notification or a way to re-engage the users out, and Web 3 doesn't. And that is how push happened, or that is how the idea of the push happened. After that, I basically wrote to Ethereum Foundation that this is an idea. I want to build it, but of course, give me grant or something else. They replied back, we cannot give grants on ideas. Go build it out at ETH Global or some hackathon, and then we can see. So yeah, that was my journey of push. Then we went to ETH Global. We 2020 we built that out. It was called Ethereum Push Notification Service at that point of time. Then we rebranded to Push because we are like all across Web3, not just Ethereum. And we have now Push Chat and video and even Spaces along with notifications. So that's why we rebranded. But yeah, that was the journey. Once ETH Global got completed, then Ethereum Foundation reached out to us and they were like, what do you want to do? So at that point of time, because of the community support, we knew that this needs to be a startup. So we were like, no, we don't want grant. Instead, we just want your mentorship and we want it to be a startup. So they basically nurtured us along with ETH Global, along with the Gitcoin kernel, along with Gitcoin Grants, which is a community-led funding, till we raised our seed and series.
How different is it to be a Web2 startup founder and a Web3 startup founder?
Very, very different. For instance, you don't get Saturday and Sunday. Say goodbye to all the Web2 friends. Or, they will just say that all you talk about is tokens and coins and how it changes the world. So, very different personally. But professionally, a couple of things that stands out, like personal experience also. Like when I was trying to reach out with this idea to Ethereum Foundation, took me 10 days of courage to actually go ahead because I was thinking this idea is very stupid. It would have been built and I'm just going to be laughed at in the industry. Then I don't know what happened on the 10th day. I was like, okay, I'll send it out. I'm glad I did. So that is one thing, like people need to understand that no idea is stupid. And you need to ask, like people will never judge you on your idea. So always ask for ideas and always ask for community's opinion. So that's one thing. Other thing which is different is again community. You cannot build in silos. What we did was, like once we knew this idea and we started building, we actually started tweeting about it, which is not something a lot of hackathon projects do. But we did that because we thought that this might be something which is very new to Web3. It might be an innovation in Web3 because notifications didn't exist. And it was good that we tweeted because on that tweet we got Web3 mentors and founders support. And that actually led us to push. So we had founders like Dan Finlay of MetaMask replying to that tweet and Yanev, who is the founder of The Graph, to reply to that tweet. Even Kevin Owaki, who's the founder of Gitcoin, replying to that tweet and asking us like how we can help. So we took those help as well. So that is very different. Like in Web2, you have the secret that you are building with a secret sauce. In Web3, you don't. In Web3, you need to talk to the community because once you do, you know that you will get the help from the community itself.
So you also have a co-founder in the project. How do you decide that? Sometimes it's been like we have been observing, and it's like people here have been entrepreneurs. So there's this idea that if it's someone else's project or it's someone else's idea, to build on it is a difficult process. So finding someone who shares your vision, shares the mission on which you have to work on, and have to get the determination also to. So how do you get up with all of those and find alignment there?
Got it. So my co-founder and me, we are married. So it's a bit different for us. What we had to decide was whether she and we are interested in this same thing or not, and then what our roles would be. But you're right, like when you're finding out the founder or co-founders, like something a founder needs to realize is that they will not be good at 100% of everything. And that is why you don't have one founder. Like you can be very good in tech, but you might not be good at marketing, or you might not be good at design or capturing the market, or you might be good in all of those things, but you cannot concentrate or focus on all the things all at once. So being very clear, like what you lack is something that a founder needs to know and a founder needs to understand. And then the thing is that you are looking for founders or even early team members to decide or to know that these guys can do a better job than you in those things. So you don't have to be perfect as a founder, but you have to be very self-observant, like what you lack, and then find a co-founder who can fill that up. Once that thing is done, the communication needs to be very on par. Like this is their thing and this is your thing, and both of you or all three of you or all four of you, you need to make sure that everyone understands what roles and responsibilities are. Another thing which a lot of founders kind of think about, that they started a project and if some co-founder comes in after they have started, then that co-founder should not have equal equity. Which is also true. Like, it's true and false in both the cases. Like, depending upon what the other co-founder is doing, depending on that, you need to give them the equity so that it's fair. So if someone is doing or covering 30% of the project, you give them 30% at the equity. If someone is doing 50%, then of course 50%. It doesn't even matter if they came in late, but if you are doing, let's say, just coding, and the other guy is doing marketing and BD and sales and all the major work, then you have to be fair. It will be 40-60 or 70-30. So there's no proper formula for founders. Just that you have to be very self-aware of what you are building, what the other person is bringing to the table, and be fair to you and to them, so that the company in the long run, it just flourishes.
So you guys are married to Push Protocol.
Yes, yes, of course. First love. Don't tell Richard.
So we have a lot of hackers here. So how different or what a hacker should learn to become a founder?
Sure. So, I mean, there's a journey from a hacker to founder. Like, when you are a hacker, you are essentially, you have an idea, you are testing it out, whether it can work at a very initial scale. Once you do that, after that, there is a step-by-step process in climbing or becoming a founder from a hacker. Like, you need to know about community. You need to know about what I just mentioned about founders. You need to know about early team members. You need to know about funding. You need to know a lot of things. And that cannot happen from a hackathon. So once you are done with a hackathon and you know that this product is good, the next step towards growing is joining an incubator or an accelerator, or even just a hacker house like this, wherein people can bounce off ideas.
But the hacker house, if we
It's a
have
founder
this,
house.
if we have
Founder
the
house.
record, we
Founder's
will
house.
Don't call it a
Founder
hacker
house.
We are
house.
not in Sheraton. We are not in.
Yes, yes.
We are
So-
in Indiranagar.
let me yeah.
No.
So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So a journey from a hacker to founder is a step-by-step process. When you are hacking, what you're doing is you're testing a product out or an idea out, whether it can be a product. But after that, there are other things that you need to do before you can become a founder. Like, for example, making sure how you're treating other founders or getting early team members out, or making sure how to build a community, or how to do marketing, and so many other things. So after you have built a product at a hackathon, the next step is probably joining an accelerator or an incubator or something like Founders House that we have over here. The idea is that now you have other founders or other hackers who might be better in one thing or the other. And now you are learning from each other, you are learning how to grow. Once you are done with that, the next step is essentially going out and talking about your project in the community, going for Gitcoin grants or going for any other form of grants. Just to know that how things work. You should not go for funding directly. Like I tell these things to hackers all the time. The reason for that is, like, all these steps, they will let you mature as a startup. And once you know that these steps are done, only then you go for funding, and only then you basically become a founder of sorts. So yeah, that's the difference between hacker and founder. And even when you become founder, like, every step of growth will make you unlearn something. Like, early founders, you will be doing a lot of things. Like, your GitHub might be full of all the green color dots. But late stage founder, your team should be doing those things because you would be required in other things or in other departments that might need your help. And every stage that will change. So you have to unlearn and then relearn to grow at every step.
So how do you like the idea of founder house?
I love this idea. I mean, this shared thinking is something that we don't really realize helps so many people and even so many founders. Like the reason why founders want to network, even we want to network. Because the reason is because we get to observe how other founders are doing things. So it's the same thing like how you guys are asking questions with yourself and with us right now. At a different forum, I would be asking those same questions with other founders, right? How are you doing this, or how are you hiring, or hiring over here is tough, or what to do over here, and then we are learning from each other. So those type of things come in when you have something like this, like a founder's house where founders can come and just share ideas and learn from each other. In the end, that's all it takes to be a founder. That be very observant and be very known or know what your problems are, and then asking questions with other people to see like if some of them have solved it, and then trying that out, and then basically upscaling yourself, and that continues on. Like I think Google also, or Sundar Pichai, or whoever is there, even Tim Cooks would be doing this. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any piece of advice? I know you've spoken about shared learning and all of that, like maybe from your journey or something which you think our founders can look out for.
Yeah. So three advice always, like be shameless in asking questions. I already mentioned
We
why.
got that from
Yeah.
her.
Oh, same advice, dude. Same founders. So just those three advice. We were invited to speak in a lot of places, and we sat down one evening and we thought, okay, how can you summarize the three things, or the three biggest things that help change our lives? So that's just those three advice. Follow it; it always
The
works.
second one is
So be shameless in asking questions. Be open to the community and ask community for the help, and they will deliver.
It's a great one.
third one.
Ask community for all the help, and they will deliver.
Okay, so second and third are same.
No, second is be open to the community of what you are
Okay,
building.
okay, got it,
And
got it.
third is whenever you have a problem, or whenever
Ask
you
them.
ask them for help.
Got it. Thank you so much.